Do you think cannibals consider vegans grass-fed? Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Connor Monroe, and technically you've never lost a fight to a dragon. If you're new here, be sure you smash subscribe so you never miss out on our daily gaming content because we got more than just lists, baby. Horror has been around for a long time and horror games have been around for a long time too, but which ones have slipped our minds? That's what we're exploring with today's list of the top 10 scary games everyone forgot about. Roll the intro. And at 10, Nightmare Creatures. Nightmare Creatures is a 1997 survival horror game taking place in the mid-19th century. The very gothic, horror-esque story begins when a devil-worshipping cult called the Brotherhood of Hecate were conducting experiments in London to be able to take over the city and then the world. Typical. The Brotherhood tried to develop an elixir that would give them superpowers, however it ended up creating horrifying monsters. Like when Scooby was messing around with the potions in Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. Yeah, you know the one. The creatures ended up being put to use as an army for the Brotherhood, but one of their members sets their HQ on fire, RIP HQ, resulting in the first Great Fire of London. The actual game starts in 1834 when London becomes ground zero for several evil occurrences, and it's up to you to use a plethora of melee weapons to take down the nightmarish creatures. Oh, I get it. There are also ranged weapons available too, like pistols, mines, fire bombs, and even magic spells, but having to fight off a freaking Cronenberg with a sword seems pretty damn cool. Terrifying, but cool. And at 9, Operation Darkness. When you say that the Japanese Xbox community died a while ago, that's an understatement. It was never alive. But despite selling even as little as 400 consoles a month, Japanese game studio Success released an Xbox 360 exclusive game called Operation Darkness on October 11, 2007. The game was a fantasy version of the Second World War and featured you along with your squad fighting supernatural foes like zombies, werewolves, vampires, and dragons. Despite the name of the game devs, Operation Darkness was not a success and became one of the last gen Xbox exclusive horror titles developed in Japan, which on its own makes it worth a mention, but also because it's a horror game that is also a tactical role-playing strategy game, which isn't something you typically see, and maybe its success, if you can even call it that, is for a reason. And at 8, ZombiU. ZombiU is probably the only zombie game I've ever seen from the Wii U. The game, developed and published by Ubisoft, is a first-person survival horror game released for the Wii U in 2012. The highlight of this game, however, is the use of the gamepad. The gamepad, while in single player, is used extensively to search and scan surrounding areas. However, when in multiplayer, one player controls the zombie horde, using it to spawn in zombies on the map while the other fights them off in an attempt to survive the harshest conditions the opponents can throw at them. The game was influenced by Resident Evil, Condemned, Criminal Origins, and Peter Jackson's King Kong. I only remember seeing this game because Smosh played it during a game time, and the only thing I remember about the game is that they had to have some sort of rig set up to have them record the gamepad with like a GoPro strapped to Ian's chest. Hence why this game is fairly forgotten. Plus, I know you guys hated me last time I said that the Wii U sucked, but like, come on. I only know one person who ever actually had one and not one other who considered getting one. It was just a more expensive DS with like screens that detached. That's it, that's all it was. Boom. Truth bombs. And at 7, The Seventh Guest. The Seventh Guest, released by Virgin Interactive Entertainment, was one of the most revolutionary interactive movie puzzle adventure games of all time, and while it may seem like that only because of the genre, The Seventh Guest told the horror story before your very eyes with pre-rendered 3D graphics, adult content, and live action scenes within the game. No, I don't mean that adult content. The game was re-released on the App Store and even for Mac, and Bill Gates said it should be the new standard in interactive entertainment. The game has been ported in various formats on several systems, with talks of a potential third entry in the series. You relive the night where 6 guests were invited into Stroff Mansion, who arrive with no signs of the owner or anyone else, and the boss battle has you battling for your soul along with your life as you fight off a man who made a pact with a demon to kill children and become a successful toy maker. It's weird. The live action sequences are incredible on their own, so much so that this could have just been a movie and we would have enjoyed it the same, but getting to interact with it makes it that much more special. And at 6, Harvester. Harvester was made to be controversial. The 1996 point-and-click adventure horror was known for its violent content, cult following, and gruesome imagery. When it was first announced back in 1994, the public was shocked. While the game took a while to finish, in 1996, Dr. David Walsh released a list of games that he figured were too violent. Harvester wasn't going to be included until the game's producer, Lee Jacobson, demanded that it be added. The game is full of terrible imagery, like Seventh Guest shot, like the scenes were shot in live action, like cannibalism, a baby's eye popping out then being pushed back in, and children eating their mother. While at the time there weren't enough cat videos in the world to wipe this from memory, now the game has become a distant memory at best and totally forgotten at worst. Or also best, depending on how you look at things. The actual gore, like the eye popping out, was just pixel-based imagery, so it didn't look real, it looked like a video game, but that didn't stop it from being disturbing. And all the blood that actually got on the actors was actual ketchup, so it looked kind of realistic. It's weird. And at 5, Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth. Call of Cthulhu, insert the rest of the title here, is a survival horror game released for both Xbox and PC in 2006 and 2005, with the later release being the PC edition. The game was published by Bethesda, yes, that Bethesda, and Ubisoft, and is based off the works of H.P. Lovecraft. The day before my birthday in 1915, Jack Walters is summoned to the siege of a decrepit manor full of bizarre cult members called the Following of Yith, led by Victor Holt. He finds the cultists dead by mass suicide and turns on a strange contraption that unleashes a portal. Then 2 alien beings emerge from the portal and make Walters black out. When he is found, he has gone insane and is sent to Arkham Asylum. I don't think it's that one. The game, despite getting wonderful reviews, has been since long forgotten. And considering how it's about the Dark Lord Cthulhu, who can do no wrong, I'm pretty sure that is the biggest sin imaginable. Just saying. And at 4, Area 51. Area 51 is a science fiction horror FPS that was released way back in 2005. It was a loose remake of the light gun game by the same name from 1995. In 1947, an alien spacecraft crashed near Roswell, New Mexico in the United States. It was taken into custody by the US Air Force and taken to Area 51 in Nevada. The only survivor of a crash was a powerful Grey named Edgar, and he was taken into custody and held by the US military. Eventually, the Greys strike a deal with the Illuminati, where the Greys would get a research base 3 miles below the surface of Area 51 and use it as a landing site, and be given human test subjects where they can research a mutagenic virus that they could use in a war on their home planet. In return, the Greys gave the Illuminati access to their technology. If that doesn't sound like one hell of a sci-fi movie, just imagine being able to play it, because that's what's happening. You get to play through a scenario that happens because of this deal, and now the Illuminati wants to use their virus to dominate the planet. Yay. And at 3, The Dark Eye. The Dark Eye is a first-person psychological horror adventure game released for Windows and Mac. The game features several different techniques like 3D graphics, stop-motion animation, and video segments throughout, and revolves around performances of Edgar Allan Poe stories, with a new plotline used as a framing device. The game is separated into a realistic mode where the framing plot occurs, and a nightmarish mode where Poe's stories are reenacted and narrated. While visiting your uncle, you become ill due to the paint thinner he was using while painting, and you end up passing out and having a nightmarish dream. And you keep waking up and falling back asleep. When you're awake, various plotlines unfold, like your brother wanting to get married and your uncle disapproving, which in all honesty he doesn't have a say since he's only your uncle, but still. It's creepy and worrying and totally not for me, but like, it might be for you, so go for it. And at 2, Suffering. I relate. Suffering is a first/third person shooter horror adventure released in 2008 for PlayStation 2, Xbox, and Windows, which tells the story of Torque, a prisoner on death row for murdering his ex-wife and 2 children, a crime which he claims to be innocent, saying that he blacked out and can't remember what happened. Look, I've been watching a lot of Suits recently, so I'm basically a lawyer. Saying that you don't remember the crime and that you blacked out is not going to help you. If anything, it'll make you seem even more guilty to a jury, which is clearly what happened because you're just waiting for death. But the prison he gets sent to begins to be attacked by supernatural threats after being freed by an earthquake. Torque fights his way towards freedom while confronting his own personal demons. The game features 3 endings, all which depend on your actions throughout the game, and various morality checks, where you have the option of being the good man you swear to be, or let prison get you just as you got there. Finally, and at number 1, Lucius. Lucius is a psychological horror stealth game that came out for PC in October of 2012. It revolves around a 6-year-old boy named Lucius, who is the son of, you guessed it, Danny DeVito. No, Lucifer. You play as Lucifer as he kills members of his household, using telekinesis and mind control to orchestrate deadly air quotes accidents that lead to the deaths of Dante Manor's residents. You need to use your head to make sure that you don't leave any evidence that could lead to a mission failing, and the game involves everything from setting a house on fire to sacrificing a journalist and then betraying the man who was helping you sacrifice that journalist. The game even got itself a couple sequels with Lucius 2: The Prophecy and Lucius 3, which were released in 2014 and 2018 respectively. There are multiple endings to Lucius, however, only one of them sets up for the next game in the series, so watch how you decide to play these situations. It could very well mean the difference between life and death. Probably not yours because you're the son of Satan, but like, whatever. There we have it, friends, the top 10 scary games everyone forgot about. Did you remember any of these, and which ones do you think should be brought back? Let me know below, and on your way down, be sure you hit like and subscribe for daily gaming content and ring that bell to join the clan and level up. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been Charlemagne Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.